Thank you, Louise, very much. I now call on our Commissioner, Shane Fitzsimmons, AFSM, to address us. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, David. Good morning, everybody. I know we're running well behind schedule, so I will be deliberately brief this morning, but can I acknowledge all our special guests, particularly this morning, our local member, Rosa Sage, and our federal member, Louise Marcus, of course, Phil Koperberg, our former everything here in the Blue Mountains, and RFS. It's wonderful to see Phil here and have so much personal association with the brigade. I don't know how many honorary life memberships you've got around this state, but there's quite a few. Also our councillors, it is great to see our councillors, Howard and Fiona here, but also the General Manager, Robert, because at the end of the day, the RFS is a partnership with the state government and local government, and of course the volunteers, and without local government, things simply wouldn't be able to be done across this state. I can also acknowledge John Parnaby, Chief Superintendent, our Regional Manager for Region East, David Hoadley, who's deservedly received a whole host of accolades today, and David and I spend a deal of time together, and we're very cognizant of the work that David and the team have been able to do here across the Blue Mountains in his acting tenure. Can I also acknowledge the President of the RFSA, Brian McKinlay, and other members of the RFSA that are here today, our senior chaplains, Ian and Kerry Spall, and your local chaplain, Keith King, all our medal recipients, particularly here today, members of the Valley Heights Brigade, but also Megalong, Mount Tomah, and our Group Support Brigade, and our group officers who are also receiving resources today, and most importantly, family, friends, community, and other agencies celebrating on what is a remarkable milestone again in the Blue Mountains. There is no doubt that today the focus is, rightly so, on the completion of the Valley Heights Brigade Station, and what a wonderful state-of-the-art facility it is, and serves as testimony to a deal of work, not only by Valley Heights over such a long period of time, but the service has been working very much with its brigades across different parts of the state to design and model a standard that is fitting for the role and function that brigades undertake in their local community, and have the amenity, not just for the conduct of business of the brigade, but to serve as a focal point for the community. At the end of the day, the reality is that this will serve the brigade remarkably well for many decades to come, but it will more importantly serve the community extraordinarily well for many decades to come. And we know already that the station is being used not just for brigade business, but others are already starting to use the facilities for training and other things, and I think there's bookings ahead to start using the facility. But also during times of fire and other operations, this will become a focal point for the community where they can pop in, get some local advice and interact with the brigade to find out what they ought to be doing or what's going on, what the strategies are. It is going to be such a critical part of the social fabric going forward for the Valley Heights community. Steve rightly said that it's great to see a smiling face on Bert Clark, the President, and I know in the last couple of years I've received a few emails from Bert. I think like every man and his dog's received a few emails from Bert. But what concerned me towards the end of 2010 was just how despondent Bert was becoming, and he was a little bit cranky as well, I might add, but he was becoming a little despondent, and I remember quite vividly the meeting in the old brigade station on December 2010, where there were a whole bunch of emotions positively charged on that night, and ultimately we saw some work progress thereafter, and the rubber hit the road, so to speak, and we were able to join in opening this great facility only a fairly short time later in the history of getting on with the station. I am really pleased to see and meet the Valley Heights Brigade and not see the tension and the negativity and to see Bert so despondent. It is great to see the smiling faces, and I saw that as we marked some progress in the construction. But it has all happened notwithstanding some of the history and some of the issues that have been publicly aired along the way, it has happened because we've seen the support of the service, of local government and of state government. It is a fact that the funding is a partnership for the organisation. Local government contribute 11.7%, the state government puts in 14.6%, and the rest is picked up through the insurance industry. So it is certainly a contributory funding system, has been since its inception, and it is important to acknowledge the work of everybody to bring this to fruition, notwithstanding some of the well-known tensions that have occurred along the way. But it is also about acknowledging today the handover of a whole heap of resources. We've got 3 group officer vehicles, the mobile kitchen. You can see from my figure that I'm fond of mobile kitchens. That is a wonderful, once again, one-of-a-kind, state-of-the-art resource that will serve not just the volunteers and the firefighters in the field, but already talking to police and others, will see that vehicle being used to support other emergency services and community interests that occur across the Blue Mountains, and dare I say, much further afield, as we've seen recently with the support we've been providing across the state with floods and other police operations and what have you. So we're looking at some wonderful state-of-the-art appliances, as has already been said, appropriately designed and constructed to afford all members with the utmost efficiencies and performance capabilities, but also safety features to enable them to do their jobs effectively and as safely as they can. And finally today, the other celebration, which is in so many ways probably more important than everything else, is that we're acknowledging 57 wonderful men and women that have given more than 1,400 years of service to their local community. And I can say that of the 55 medal recipients, or 57 medal recipients, 2 are receiving the National Medal, and 55 are receiving Rural Fire Service Long Service medals. And I'd like to pay particular mention of David Belfanti, 20 years of service through the Valley Heights Brigade, who's unable to be with us, but his widow, Catherine Belfanti, will be joining us and receiving that medal today. And acknowledging Ken Esgate, equally, who's no longer with us, for 51 years of service, but we're fortunate to have his brother, Ron, receiving that medal here today. So it is without a doubt, notwithstanding the $750,000 worth of investment you're seeing here in this station, or the $600,000 or $700,000 worth of investment you're seeing through the appliances being acknowledged out there today, what is priceless is the extraordinary contribution that our men and women have given over so many decades in serving their local community. And what makes that so special is that all those decades ago, whether it's 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or indeed 50 or 60 years ago, our members simply signed up to serve in the Rural Fire Service for the want of nothing more than to look after their neighbour, to look after their community, and as has been mentioned, often responding to the assistance and need of complete strangers. So it is absolutely fitting today that we take the time to acknowledge and thank them for that extraordinary lifelong contribution in so many examples to their local communities. But I might also add, as has been mentioned already by so many of the speakers, this can't happen if it isn't for the love and support and commitment of all our members' families. The loved ones at home that give so much in support of our members to enable them to do their work. Today's also about saying a big thank you and recognising that unconditional support, which is tested all the time, but without which our members simply wouldn't be able to do what it is they do year in, year out. And finally, I know the former commissioner made a joke of my hair and his hairline, and as old Fitzgerald used to say up here, he still called Phil Koperberg right through to his retirement. He asked if he could speak to the FCO, and I said, well, he's no longer the FCO anymore, you know. And he said, yes, he is. He's the follically challenged one, and that's what I'm going to call him. So he's kept the FCO title forever, and I'm convinced also, Steve and Bert, that maybe the traumatic hair loss in more recent times is there's probably more of a synergy with the Valley Heights Brigade than the business of being Commissioner. So thank you very much, everybody. This is a wonderful day, and we should thank and acknowledge everyone that's been involved for being able to achieve so much and bring it all together on what couldn't be a better day here in the Blue Mountains. Thank you very much.